Okay, so I'm going to work through a few problems with you on this worksheet to get you started. So you should have just watched the last video, and I actually made that video as an end of the year review before the milestone, so I just used it again since I had it. But I would like for us to work through some of these together to get you started, and then your assignment will be to complete the rest of this worksheet, and then the back is one of the puzzle worksheets. That's the self-checking one, so you'll be able to see if you get your answers correct as you go through those problems. Okay, so let's just start off at the beginning. So this is what you guys practiced just a few minutes ago even with your partner, is whenever you see, see if we can get the light on, sorry, hold on a second. I know that that's loud. When you were working with your partner, you did some of these already, but anytime you see a negative exponent, that tells you that you need to do the reciprocal. So we want to do 1 over 3 to the third, and then that one's a simple one. You know that answer. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So that's 1 over 27 for that answer, and I'll go ahead and make it like our answer sheet. So that's number 1. Moving on to number 2. 2 to the negative 5th means the reciprocal of 1 over 2 to the 5th is going to be our reciprocal of that. And 2 to the 5th means 2 times 2 times 2, which you should already know is 8, times 2 would be 16, times 2 again would be 32. So that one is 1 over 32. And we're done with that. All right, number 3. Didn't talk about this on the video, but you did look at this yesterday. Anything that has a 0 as an exponent always equals 1. So 5 to the 0 is 1. So that's our answer there. All right, now we're going to get to some problems that have more than just one base in it. And what we need to do is separate them and do them individually. And like I mentioned on the last video, if we think about everybody needs to be happy, everybody needs to be positive. So what we need to do is make sure that we move the negative exponents so that they will be positive. So here's our first one. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a fraction bar there. So 8 to the 0 is happy because 0 works as a positive in this case. But not only that, anything to the 0 power is 1. So this right here is the same as 1. And that would be 1 to the first, which is positive. So that one's going to stay where it is. A to the negative third, however, needs to be moved to the bottom. We need the reciprocal of that one. So once we move a to the third to the denominator, it's positive, and we're done. So that would be the answer for that one. All right. Next up, number 5. So I'm going to start off with my fraction bar, and I'm going to go through piece by piece. So b to the 5th. Well, b to the 5th has a positive exponent. So in terms of being happy, it's happy where it is. So we're done with that one. Now we move to c. c has a negative exponent. So c to the negative 4th is unhappy. So that means we need to move it. So if we do the reciprocal, it's going to end up being in the denominator. And once we move it, it becomes positive. So that one's finished. Number 6, we have 3 pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the fraction bar. So first, we have 6 to the negative 7th. Well, 6 to the negative 7th is unhappy. So we need to move 6 to the negative 7th. So that one is going to move to be in the denominator. And when we move it, now it's positive. B to the negative third is unhappy, so we need to move the B to the denominator. When we do that, it's happy. It becomes positive. C to the second is already happy. It's already positive. It's happy where he is. So that one is going to stay where it is. Does not need to be moved to the denominator. All right. I'm going to skip this next row. I'm going to have you do those on your own. I'm going to go down to number 10. And the reason why I'm moving to number 10 is if you look across, these are already in fractions. And whenever we have fractions that have negatives, that might mean that the numerator, or sorry, the negative exponent needs to move to the numerator. So we'll start with this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the fraction bar. So I'm going to start with 9. 9 would be 9 to the first, which is positive. So the 9 is absolutely happy where he is. Now we have x to the negative fourth, and the x to the negative fourth is unhappy. But not only is this exponent negative, it's negative in the denominator. So in order to make this guy happy, we need to move him up. So x to the negative fourth is unhappy in the denominator, which means he would be happy in the numerator. So what that means now is there's nothing in the denominator, but we never put 0 down there. That's always just equal to 1. So 9x to the fourth is an acceptable answer for number 10. So there's that one. All right, same thing right here. So I'm going to go ahead and make my bar, and I need to go one piece at a time. So first let's start with the 3. The 3 has a 1 as its exponent, which would be positive, so the 3 is fine right where he is. Then we go to the x. X to the third is positive, so that one is fine where he is. Then we go to y to the negative fifth. So we found somebody who is unhappy. But this guy is unhappy in the denominator, which means we need to move him to the numerator in order for him to be happy. So we'll move him up because really, remember, it's all about reciprocals. And a reciprocal in a denominator would move to the numerator. So we would have y to the fifth, because once we move him, he's happy. So once again, there's nothing in the denominator, but we never put 0. So 3x to the third, y to the fifth is our answer for this one. All right, I'm going to let you guys do 12, 13, and 14. I want to move and do number 15 with you. All right, so first thing, I'm going to start with the fraction bar. And as always, we're going to go piece by piece. So 15 would be 15 to the first. So that one is happy where he is. Next we move to the 5. This would be 5 to the first. So he's happy where he is in the denominator. Then we go to the y, and we have y to the negative third. And this guy is unhappy, so we need to move him. So here we go. He's unhappy in the denominator, which means we're going to move him to the numerator. All right, now, at this point, on all of the other ones, we would be finished. But there's one more thing that we can do for this problem to make our answer even better. And I'm hoping that you're thinking what I'm thinking, which is that we can, hold on, I'm going to change colors here. This fraction right here can be reduced. So 15 over 5 would be the same as 3 over 1. So since we can reduce that fraction, instead of 15y to the third over 5, we would have 3y to the third over 1, which means that the best answer for this would even just be 3y to the third, because we don't need the 1 in the denominator. Oops, sorry about that. Couldn't get the cap off my marker. All right, so this leaves you with a few left to do on the front side. So let's just back out so you can see. So you need to go back and finish 7, 8, and 9, and then 12, 13, 14. And then you also have the back side. Now, what happens here on this puzzle is you're going to work through each problem, and you can find the answer in the boxes below. And then what you're going to do is write the letter in the box that has the number with the answer. All right, so if the answer to this is, well, I guess I'll go ahead and tell you that the answer to 8 to the 3rd power is going to be 512. So this one is 8 times 8, which is 64, and then 64 times 8. So this one is 512. So